Brother Teacher here. I was asked by one of my followers and subscribers about my viewpoint as it relates to the movie that was put out by Quentin Tarantino entitled or titled Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, and its depiction of Bruce Lee and his character. And I noticed an interview or two with Shannon, his daughter, where she vehemently disagreed with how her father was characterized or portrayed in that film. And I agree with Shannon. Bruce Lee was dishonored and disrespected in Tarantino's film, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. I didn't watch the whole film. I had no desire to, and I still don't have a desire to watch the film. Albeit, to his credit, Tarantino has put out a lot of very good material in time past, and I have, for the most part, enjoyed Tarantino's films. Now, this is not an indictment against him, but this is just simply an observation of this particular film, which deals with someone that I have always respected as a martial arts phenomenon, and not only myself but the world, and that is none other than Bruce Lee. They depicted him as being very brash, very cocky, very arrogant, and even narcissistic. That was not Bruce Lee. Now, the arrogance part I can agree with on some level, because I am, and there are many other martial artists and hundreds of thousands of martial artists that still carry that sort of arrogant vibe with them. But it's not the typical and traditional viewpoint or context in which most people see arrogance. Most arrogant individuals, when we use that term arrogant, we're saying that those people believe that the world evolves around them, and that they're better than everyone else, and that their crap doesn't stink, and they're very narcissistic by nature. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about people who have trained in their particular craft, who have studied and been devoted and dedicated to their particular craft, and have a tremendous amount of confidence in what they're doing. That was Bruce Lee. That's the arrogance that I'm referring to, if you would even accept that term, arrogance. So when you say that Bruce Lee was arrogant, of course he was. He knew what he possessed. He knew that he had put the time in, the effort in, the training in, the study in, the research in. And he was arrogant on that level only. And if you challenged him, he would just simply show you through his actions. He didn't have to tell you anything. He just did what he trained in. So, to make it seem as Bruce Lee lacked respect for other people is wrong. Now, he was cocky and brash when he was back in Hong Kong growing up, which was the reason his father or family sent him to America in the first place, to get himself together. And he found himself through martial arts. And then he even said himself in many interviews, honestly, martial arts to me is honestly expressing one's self. He didn't understand that in the very beginning as a teenager, but he began to develop as a human being, and as a man of value, and as a very decent spiritual human being when he came to America. And if you look at his writings, they speak to this. So to say that Bruce Lee was so cocky and so distasteful as a human being in a film is completely and totally dishonoring the legend that we know as Bruce Lee. I don't know what else to say. Now, there are people here online who love to kind of troll and follow anything that I do about Bruce Lee, and try to berate and try to demean anything that I say, and even Bruce Lee's prowesses in the martial arts. I'm not talking to those people. And actually, honestly, I could care less what their comments are, because their motives are obvious, their intentions are obvious, and it doesn't bother me at all, and I really don't care what they say. troll all you want to. I'll just kick you off my channel. I'll just mute you or erase you. It doesn't matter. I am here to be the voice for those people who can't speak for themselves oftentimes, and Bruce Lee happens to be one of those people. I'm not his defense per se. He doesn't need me to defend him. His legacy speaks for itself. It honestly does. And his millions and millions and millions of fans speak to his credit as well. I'm just one of those many. And that's really it. So when you make a film about someone who has had the type of impact on the world as a Bruce Lee, or even a Michael Jackson, or a Prince, you better come correctly. You better come with the proper information, or else you're going to get some backlash. Now, I think, honestly, with all of the work under him and in his portfolio, Tarantino that is, he should be professional enough and should have thought this out long enough to know that this actually did not portray Bruce Lee as we know Bruce Lee. So what his motive was, I don't know, but it seems apparent, seems very obvious that he was not a Bruce Lee fan. That's all I can say. That's it, and that's all. Do you think that Quentin Tarantino disrespected Bruce Lee and misrepresented who he was in his film Once Upon a Time in Hollywood? Let us all know what you think in the comment section below. So long.